Hey everybody, HomeSliceHenry here, and in today's video we are taking a look at Malamar, a brand new Pokemon in the world of Pokemon Go, with the brand new Psychic event that is just coming out. You can get it in the wild, or the way that I got it was through a remote raid invitation. Now once you have your Inkay, you'll need 50 candies and to turn your phone upside down, and then you'll be able to evolve it into Malamar. Now Malamar looks to be an interesting choice for the Remix Cup. It's a dark and psychic type Pokemon with access to Psycho Cut, Foul Play, and Superpower. So without further ado, let's hop into the matches and let's take a look at Malamar in action. Hopping into the first match, leading Malamar into Jirachi. This is an incredible lead for us. As you can see, these confusions are doing absolutely nothing, and we are going to be able to spam out these foul plays so quickly. We're able to pressure a shield already, and we're already almost halfway to another foul play. Now Malamar isn't the bulkiest thing ever, but does have decent bulk, and they save switch into Obstagoon, and that is not a good choice, as Obstagoon gets one shot by Malamar. Oh my goodness. And now we're going for the foul play. It's debuffed, but still does a nice chunk, and now I'm going to bring in Dragalge. Now, Dragalge doesn't have a fantastic matchup here, but I'm hoping if I shield, I will be able to farm down here. So we're going to go for the farm, and we just can't take them out, so we are going to have to commit a shield. They go for the Doom Desire, and we'll have to see what is in the back. And it's a Shadow Gyarados. We're going straight for the Outrage. No baiting here. Come on! Yes! And one-shots the Shadow Gyarados and gives us the win. And right off the bat, hopping in the next match, again, another pretty solid matchup for Malamar. Now, Malamar's typing is very interesting. Dark and Psychic work really well together, so its only weaknesses, it takes double super effective from Bug and single super effective from Fairy. Hence why I ended up pairing it with two Poison type Pokemon, as those help to cover those weaknesses fairly decently. Now we are going to be going straight for these foul plays. We're able to land one, which is really nice. And here, I decide to call the bait. Shadow Ball would hurt, but we call it. It's just the Icy Wind, and now we're going to bring in our Dragalge, and we're able to snipe it. We are able to farm down. That's huge, and they have a Diggersby in the back. I'm building up, and I'm going straight for the Outrage. Outrage is only neutral, whereas Aqua Tail is super effective, but I'm hoping to land the big move, and we do. That's so nice. I have a bit of a tough shielding decision here. Malamar's a little squishy, so I call it, and it's a Fire Punch. That is so good for us. Oh, this is terrific. Aqua Tail comes through. We're able to force the shield from the Diggersby, and now I'm totally fine with letting this go down. They probably Earthquake me here, and that's fine by me. So I'm going to overfarm just a little bit with Malamar, and that's one thing, is energy management on Malamar is going to be very crucial, because Malamar, there's definitely a learning curve, and they have a Shadow Kanto Ninetales in the back. Doesn't look like that we're going to be able to get to two, but we'll be able to get off the foul play, a quick switch into Nidoqueen, and the opponent sees the writing on the wall and concedes the match. Alright, hopping into the next match, we have Malamar into Empoleon. Now, our backline doesn't really like to see Empoleon, so Malamar is our Empoleon counter on this team. We're going straight for the superpower here, and it lands. That does big damage, and now we're going to save switch into Dragalge, and since it was offset CMP, we actually end up catching the Hydro Cannon. That works pretty well for us here. Now, this move will not take us out, so I don't have to shield it. And I am going to opt to go for the Outrage, hoping that we can land it and get some nice damage off. Unfortunately, my opponent does shield up. That's really not what you want to see. But the good news is Empoleon is really low, so worst case scenario, I can hopefully use Nidoqueen to take it out endgame. We can survive one move, so I am going to let this go, and we're just going to try and get off these Poison Fangs as soon as possible so we can lower their defense and hopefully Poison Jab down. Alright, and can we Poison Jab down here? Yes! Just as they get to the move, we're able to Poison Jab them down. That is massive. And we'll see what they have in the back. They have Dragalge. Unfortunately, I blind clicked the Poison Fang. Big mistake by me, but now I'm going to bring in the Malamar. And my opponent is not switching into Empoleon here. We're able to get the shield, and now, since we have two shields, their only win con is to try and farm us down, but Malamar is very spammy. We get to the foul play. That will be taking out Dragalge. Empoleon able to farm us down, but Nidoqueen should be able to Poison Jab down the Steel type and get the win. You love to see it. Alright, Hopping into the next match, we have Malamar into Shadow Golbat. It looks like I got my matches out of order because it suddenly became daytime. Sorry about that. All right, Poison Fang really not going to be doing a whole lot, and we're going to be able to fire off a Foul Play. And Foul Play unfortunately does get the shield, and we actually simultaneously swap. That's unfortunate. If they had brought in the Empoleon, I would have liked to stay in and throw the superpower, but unfortunately happened at the same time. Not a whole lot we can do there. We do shield up the Drill Peck. I do want to try and preserve health on Dragalge. I feel like it could be useful in the end game because Golbat doesn't have a great Dragalge matchup because we are going to be resisting the Poison Fang, of course. Empoleon down, and they do bring in the Shadow Golbat. So the question is it Greninja in the back? I believe that's the Zionic team. So potentially could be. They bring in Greninja. We're building up to the Outrage and going for the bait. We're hoping that we can get the shield here because I want to get the KO with Malamar since that's what we're featuring. But unfortunately, we don't get the shield. Oh no. And they do go for the Night Slash over the Surf. We live on 1 HP. I was not expecting to live that, but they go for the Night Slash. Superpower does get the shield. And yeah, things are not going well. I definitely had this game in hand, but I was like, you know what? Let's try and feature Malamar, and it went downhill rapidly. So we're going to be going for the Aqua Tail. Aqua Tail gets it very low. We're just able to Dragon Tail down the Golbat and Dragon Tail down the Greninja, and we're able to get the win. So definitely some less than ideal gameplay from me there, but we got the job done. All right, hopping in the next match, another Shadow Golbat. So pretty common lead, and they're going to save swap into a Skuntank. So far, 2 poison types, very interesting. We go for the superpower, we land it, and now we're going to bring in Dragalge and attempt to farm down. My goal is, ideally, if I can farm down without committing a shield, that would be perfect here. Come on. Oh, and just as the Dragon Tail that would have taken them out goes through, they're able to get to a crunch, and they do force a shield. So very nicely done there. And now we're building up to the 2 Aqua Tails, and we're baiting the Outrage, hoping to get the shield, and my opponent calls it. So a very nice call there, and now we're going for another Aqua Tail. This gets them pretty low, does not take them out, and now they're going to be throwing. I really can't commit the second shield here, so we're going to let that go, come in with Malamar, and they have Obstagoon. Come on. Come on. Please don't shield this. Please don't shield this. Ah, he knows. He must have read a write-up or something. He knew about the superpower. He shields it up. But we do have the Nidoqueen in the back, so we should still be in a pretty good position so long as that Obstagoon does not boost. We're going to be going for the Poison Fang, lowering the defense, and really starting to ramp up these poison jabs. Again, I am worried about a potential boost, so we let it go, and that ends up being a good call because the Obstagoon does boost. So things are looking a little rough here for us. As Obstagoon, oh man, this is not great. We kind of have to shield this up. They bring in the Golbat, but we're able to poison jab down the Golbat. We leave with a move, and the opponent concedes the match. Oh boy, that Obstagoon boost at the end was scary. Hopping into the next match, all right, we have a Frostlass on the lead, and this is a pretty nice matchup for Malamar in the 2 shields. As since Malamar is pretty new, I'm thinking that a lot of people may not know just how quickly it gets to foul play, so I am actually going to overfarm by 1 to make them think that that's my count. And now we are going to throw 1 before they get to it. And again, I'm hoping that they don't realize that I'm over farming here. And they decide to throw, but this is on CMP. They're unable to switch out, and this foul play should be taking them out, which is fantastic for me. So as you can see, Malamar in the 2 shield, pretty comfortably handling Frostlass and still leaving with just under half health. They bring in Mandibuzz. We are going to save switch into our Dragalge. And here, unfortunately, I was worried about the Mud Bomb, so I clicked the Aqua Tail. Kind of a mistake by me. Probably should have just committed to the Outrage, but ah well. Aqua Tail comes through, and now I'm going to try and farm down. Oh, so the Aqua Tail ends up working out for us. Can we get to the Outrage? Yes, we get to the Outrage. So my accidental Aqua Tail ends up working out for me pretty well, as now we should be in an okay position. We have the Nidoqueen in the back, which is still full health, so it can absorb all these moves from the Mandibuzz. So we should be in a commanding position to close out this match. So So as we've seen here, the Malamar with Superpower and Foul Play in the Remix meta does give it a lot of coverage because there are quite a few ghost types. I will say one downside to Malamar, it's not quite as bulky as I was hoping, so in some neutral matchups, you may find yourself getting outbulked. Alright, we have Malamar into Hypno. This should be pretty decent for us, I would hope. And they're going to save switch into Magneton. So we have some incredible spice here. You love to see it. I go for the Foul Play bait thinking they would shield. They decide not to. Definitely should have superpowered. They're going to be going for the Magnet Bomb, but I believe I should be able to farm down here, which we are. That's very nice. They're going to bring back the Hypno, and I'm going straight for the Outrage, trying to do maximum damage while I'm here. Not really expecting a shield, which makes sense because they're recognizing that the Hypno doesn't have as great of a matchup as they might like versus the Malamar. We're going to let this go, just a Fire Punch, and they have Magnus Zone in the back. This team is so cool. We're going to be going for the Superpower. We do get the shield. And now we do bring in the Nidoqueen, and unfortunately, we kind of just have this man countered, which is really unfortunate because what a cool team. And we're just going to be going straight for the Earth Power as my opponent's win con basically just involves me baiting a lot of the time. So we are going to be going straight for the Earth Power, no baiting here, and it lands. The poor Magnezone gets one shot and the opponent concedes the match. So GG's, I am so sorry. That's a very, very cool team. Hopping in the next match. All right, we have Malamar into Obstagoon. So this is a pretty okay matchup for Malamar, but the issue is you have to land the Superpower, and if you don't, then with your defense lowered and Malamar not being the tankiness, you may need to switch out. And we are going to see a Clefable switch in, and this is, unfortunately, we're not running Gunk Shot. Hurts, and then I make a mistake because I'm like, man, I don't have Gunk Shot, and I didn't build up to it. I probably could have gotten a second shield if I had built up to it, but I don't. I make the mistake. I forget to build up to it, so my opponent doesn't have to respect it, which is really not great. I'm going to bring in the Nidoqueen. We need to shield up the Meteor Mash, farm down, and trust in the Nidoqueen to close out this match for us. Obstagoon comes in, and they're going to be throwing some energy here. They go for the Night Slash, and they get the boost. Oh, this is so bad. We're going to catch onto the Malamar, but a boosted neutral Night Slash does a lot here, and these counters are neutral due to Malamar's typing. So things definitely could be better as this Goon is going on an absolute rampage right now. We are able to sneak a Poison Jab through, and we're really and the Goon boosts again. You gotta be kidding me, man. So we now have a double boosted Goon. The defense falls, but that's not going to be enough. Goon is going to be able to take us out, and unfortunately, we do take the loss. So that's one situation. I kept that match in to kind of show the downside of Malamar. Is there are a lot of matchups on PV Poke that it wins, but if they're dependent on landing a Superpower, if the Superpower is shielded, you may need to switch out. And sometimes, even despite what PV Poke says is a winning lead, it could end up being a loss. All right, hopping in the next match and picking up a pretty decent lead versus Dragalge. We trade shields, and I'm going to save switch into my own Dragalge. And they bring out Empoleon, which is perfect because I'm totally fine with seeing Empoleon here if it means that it's going to stay well away from my Nidoqueen. So we're going for the Outrage. We land it. Now I believe I can farm down here. Yes, we farm down. That's very nice. And now they bring in a Celio. That is very cool. A Shadow Celio, but things are looking a little rough for us as Shadow Celio is going to significantly outpace us. They go for the Body Slam. We're farming up as much as we dare, and now we're at the 2 superpowers. So Malamar with loaded energy. We go for the superpower, we land it, and now we're going to simultaneously swap. They bring in the Dragalge, and unfortunately, I believe I just get outpaced here. We do get the shield, which is nice, but yeah, I believe they're at 2. So things are looking very rough for us here, as yes, they are at 2. This is going to be an Aqua Tail. We do barely survive it, but we're not going to be able to get to the Earth Power. We're just going to have to go for the Poison Fang and then hope that a double debuff plus a superpower is enough to KO, and then maybe we can Psycho Cut down the Shadow Celio. All right, and Shadow Celio has a move. So Dragalge, another lead that is fairly tough for Malamar. All right, hopping into the next match. As you can see, there were a lot of Dragalge leads this evening, and we're going to be going for the foul play. Foul play does do a nice chunk of damage to Dragalge when it lands. Foul play, as you can see, does a solid chunk of damage, and now we're going to save switch into our own Dragalge here. And I'm a little worried they got to the outrage. They bait, and then they're not able to get to the moves. You know what? We'll take that. And now they're going to bring in Frostlass. And a 2-shielded Frostlass is very scary for this team, but we're able to get a shield with the Aqua Tail, and we're able to get to a second Aqua Tail. Okay, this is nice. This should be doing some chunk damage or getting that second shield. And yes, we are getting the Frostlass low. This is what we need to see. And now we just bring in Malamar to be a damage sponge. We will trust in Nidoqueen to close this match for us. They switch out into Skuntank. Unfortunately, they're able to snipe me with the Skuntank. Oh, this is rough. We can survive a crunch. We no shield the first in case they get the debuff. And now I decide to go for the nuke. Risking it all, no baiting here, and they call it. It lands, in comes the Frostlass, and we are going to be able to shield up and farm down, and we are able to get the win. So all in all, Malamar in the Great League Remix Cup, I think it's a very interesting Pokemon. It has an exceedingly rough learning curve. My first 2 sets with it didn't go great, but after I kind of more got a handle of over farming with it and basically finessing energy management, the sets improved quite a bit. So I do think it is a solid off-meta contender. I don't think it's revolutionizing any meta by any means, but I think it's a very solid off-meta / spice pick to add. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're enjoying the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And a special thank you, as always, to our members here on YouTube. The support you guys provide is absolutely incredible. So thank you guys oh so very much. And until next time, I've been HomeSliceHenry.